Hey, welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith. How are you all tonight? Man, it looks like I'm down in a bunker, doesn't it? It's evening and I'm sitting in my office and I don't have it, and the light's not coming in from the outside. And I wasn't going to make one tonight. Is that enough ands? But I'm relaxing and I was watching, I saw a couple of YouTubes come up that are addressing these train derailments with the toxic and chemical spills. And so I thought that I'd make this one. A couple of them that I've seen, by the way, welcome to everybody. Welcome to all the new people, and welcome to all the new people on Patreon. I had a bunch of those lately. A couple of the channels out there have done a real good job as far as, or a pretty good job, as far as talking about the specific chemicals and their potential hazards. A lot of channels are just like, I'm not going to do either of those. First off, I haven't delved enough into the chemicals themselves, and I'm not a chemist, and I'm not going to address that. What I am going to do on this is ask our people over on Patreon. We've got some super sharp people over there with backgrounds in these things. We need to get our information from the people who actually know. So you guys on Patreon, I'm asking you, go ahead and give your opinions on this. Let us know. That's really what Patreon, our Patreon channel, is becoming such a resource. It's really something. It's more than I anticipated it being. For those of you who aren't on our Patreon channel, you really should be. I always put the link down below, but that's why you get information that's so far beyond anything that you'll get just from these videos. It really is a community, and it's a good community. It's a nice community. It's a supportive community. It is not a, there is no arguing. There's no smart alecks over there. There are serious people and just nice people. Some asking questions, some answering questions, but I learn a lot, so can you. So I'm not going to talk about either one of those things. What I do want to talk about is the potential for the need for you bugging out. Usually, we talk about, and everybody, with any brains, accepts that bugging out, regardless of the prepper fantasy about living in the woods, is always the absolute last resort. It is not something you want to do, if you can at all help it. All of your resources are at your home, or wherever it is. It might be your second home. Maybe you're living at your bug out location, in which case you need another one. But wherever you are, that's where your resources are, and you're going to be best off with that. However, there are some things that would necessitate you having to bug out, and that is when staying where you are simply becomes more dangerous than leaving. And every person is going to have to decide that for themselves, and it's going to be different depending on the different situations. This is one of those, and I hesitate to get into the the potential conspiracy. I won't call it a conspiracy theory. These things, we just have too many derailments. We've had too many accidents. We've had too many fires. We've had too many things happen for any thinking person to believe that these are just all coincidences. And so I'll let you run with that on your own. I'm not going to get into that anymore. Over on Patreon, you guys really run with it, because I'll be interested to you might you might think of things that I haven't thought of, and I've thought of a lot. But the thing is this, is that no matter where you are, now that we're having all these train derailments, when's the last time you heard that many happen, right? And they're all carrying funny stuff. Do you live next to a train yard? Do you live next to a train track? Do you live in a heavy populated area? Do you live in a not heavy populated area that is adjacent to a water flow. Okay, you've seen what's happened with the water up in Ohio. What they're assuring you is perfectly safe to drink. Ask your friendly chemist if he agrees. And you know, when you get into things like this, not all water filters are able to deal with these things, and you can't necessarily boil this out, and your little tablets can't necessarily get this stuff out. This is a major threat, major problem. So if you live in an area that could be affected by this, which means pretty much all of you, you should be thinking about the possibility that you might have to vamoose. You know, maybe hopefully not forever, maybe for a little while. When we were down at the Kansas City Chiefs parade, victory parade, go Chiefs, for the Super Bowl win, I was carrying at the time my grab bag, and I was going to make a video about that. I have a bag system. It's not the same as what everybody else talks about. I made it up myself. It's been this way forever. I've never called it a go bag. I've never called it a get home bag. I have a bag that's always with me that I just grab, a small one, and I call it the grab bag. I'm not going to talk about these here, but I'm telling you what these are, that I guess I'm going to make videos on these. I'll try to start on it this next coming week. I can't promise. I've got so much going on, and we're doing the final edit of the book. But I really will, because I think I've had a lot of people ask me about it, and I think it'll help a lot of people out there. So I have the grab bag. I always had that with me. I have that with me. When I was down in the crowd, we walked for miles. And then above that, I have what I call a jick bag, for those of you who have read my books. Also, links down there how to get those. I call it a JIC bag, a JIC, a just in case. You know, I've heard that a lot of people have different kinds of bags. A get home bag seems to be different from a bug out bag for a lot of people. It's no different to me at all. I have one bag. I have two bags. I have the grab bag, and then I have a JIC bag, just in case, JIC. And that's going to do me no matter whether I'm trying to get home or bugging out. And there will be some people that say, but there's a big difference. Well, no, there's not. I've been living out of a bag I started carrying JIC bags in the late 80s, okay? And I was not in the military. You know, it was a matter of I traveled so much, I moved around so much, that I lived out of that bag. And so I got it down pretty good, and have had it with me ever since. You know, something funny, when I'm showing that one, I'll tell you something funny here, because I know everybody will ask, what kind of bag is it? The best one I ever had, I still have it, but the zipper, a couple of the zippers started giving me problems. The best one I ever had, as far as size, as far as structure, as far as materials, as far as the compartments the way that I want them, I got from Walmart back in the late 80s for $5. And I've still got, I'm going to fix it, because I've gotten bags since then, and they're, look all tactical, and I just don't like them nearly as well as I did that one that I've had from Walmart since the late 80s. That's an aside. Maybe I'll show you that when I do that one on the JIC bag. But the thing is, there is a possibility that you might have to vamoose, to get out of where you are for a short amount of time. It may not be the water. It may be, the chemical cloud that is settling around you, that they assure you is nothing to worry about. Up to you. But these dangers are escalating. And they're becoming more frequent. They're becoming more dangerous. They're becoming larger in affected areas, from what I can tell. And it's an elevated. Let's talk tactical here. It's an elevated threat environment. Yes, it is. It is an elevated threat environment, and it could happen at any time. So I would suggest whatever kind of bags you use, have them ready to go. If you haven't looked in yours for a while, have it ready to go. Have something, and then beyond that, I have a truck bag, okay, big bag. And then in addition to that, and I've got food in all of them, okay, for different lengths of time. And then in addition to that, I have a big box of food in the trucks. Enough food for quite a while for the whole family. It might, this isn't one of those bug outs that you'd be taken to the woods, thankfully. But it could be one of those situations to where you need to leave in your vehicle and drive on a highway and go someplace else to stay for a while, whether that be a relative or a Marriott. In which case, you need some cash or some credit cards or debit card, whatever you use. And that gets into another area that, of course, I've just recently started talking about, and that's the new channel, Prepping for Prosperity. And we talk about over there, the people who think that you don't need, that money is not all that important for prepping, they're misguided. They are misguided. It's great to know all the bushcrafting, and it's great to know all how to hunt and fish and skin a rabbit and build a fire and all that kind of stuff. But in the world we live in, that's not the kind of things you're going to be needing to do for the most part in order to survive. You need to be able to function in this world the way it is right now. That takes money, or it takes a credit card. One of those two, and it's just no getting around it. You're not going to do well if you don't have that, and that's why I've stressed for so long. Building your financial preparedness. You have to build it. It simply allows you to do better in your preparations. So, if you want to join us there, I'll put the link down there. We're getting a bunch of people, by the way. For those of you watching this who are also with us over there on Prepping for Prosperity, I just started it a week ago, and I'm surprised at how quickly it's growing, and that shows me that a lot of people, have an interest in that, because you can and you should use your preparations, your preparedness activities to better yourself, not just planning for the future, but to better yourself today. And a big slice of that is financial. So if you want to join us on there, the link, I'll put it down there too. So think about this. Think about, if the call comes, are you ready to go? Are your bags up to date? I would check them if I were you. Make sure that the things you think are in there actually are in there. Do a little mental, audit on it. And do I need anything else? Do I need anything else? And I always suggest, several layers. Like I said, I have a grab bag, a jick bag, and a truck bag, and then separate. I have more than that, which I'll get to when I make the bag videos. But I would definitely get serious about this. I'm getting serious about it. And, well, I am serious. I'm not getting serious about it. I am serious about it, and I'm watching very closely. And if the day comes that I think, something happened a little too close to where we live here, think it's time for us to boogie, we're going to boogie. And I want to be able to be out there away from home for as long as it takes. I mean, how long does it take for an area to be, able to be re-entered safely? A long time, maybe? You want to be able to be out there. But realize you're not going to be in the woods probably. You're going to be out there in your vehicle and such as that. So make your own plans. You know what your situation is. I don't. But have your bag situated. Make sure that you have stuff in your vehicle ready to go. You don't have to take it out there. Stage it already. Get it in there. I would, as I always do, I'm suggesting to you, have a good bin or a box, whatever you want to put it in. A good box. Have a month's food in your vehicle. Now, you're not going to have all the fancy stuff. Have the stuff that you need to survive, to live on, and a way to have a store of water and a way to purify more, and all the things that we talk about, when we're talking about preparedness, and have a way to defend it and yourself. I just had a little training thing with the kids today, and I won't tell you what we went through, but we went through a lot, and I was real impressed. So anyway, keep that in mind. I would suggest you be ready to go at a moment's notice if you need to. If you're not with us on Patreon, I wish you would be, and you should be, and the link's down there to come on over. It only costs you $1 a month. And if you want to come over to us on the Prepping for Prosperity channel, the link is also down there, as are the links to my books. Yes, the new one is real close to coming out. I'm doing the last final edit on it. And I'll maybe make an announcement, or somebody will, here pretty soon. So anyway, you guys make sure that you're ready. And it's the world we live in, isn't it? I don't see it changing. I don't see it getting better. Every step that we go to seems to be something more, more threatening, something a little bit worse. It's just the world we live in, but that's why we've got to keep up with it, and we've got to prepare. So remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. So please do prepare well today so that you will live tomorrow. And I'll talk to you maybe tomorrow. Bye-bye.